Hey again. Wild and Willie Wordsmith here. Barbary Allen at .wordpress.com. WildandWillieWordsmith.com. Another pandemic update. It's, what is it, the 25th, I think? Maybe the 26th? I think it's the 25th. I don't know. It's DNA Day? I think it's DNA Day. What's DNA Day? Google it, bitch. Not on topic. So, let's inject disinfectant. Yeah, let's see how that works out for us. Now, this sorry motherfucker, sorry about that, wants us to try and shove UV lights inside the body somehow. See, that's, everybody's freaking out about the bleach thing, but how the fuck you gonna shove an LED? What are you gonna do? Shove an LED light up somebody's ass? Has Trump been watching these YouTube videos about the guys trying to sunburning their assholes, trying to get sun blown up their ass, trying to actually literally blow sunshine up their own asses? That somehow this will, I don't know, do something to your chakras? I don't know. I have no fucking clue what they're doing, shoving their assholes up into the sky, other than making sure their tan is very even. I mean, that's the only reason I ever had cause to turn over and show my cheeks to the sun was because I really wanted a very even tan that year. Which was ridiculous because it never got even. And when you do that, you're not able to show off how dark you actually got. They just say, oh, well, you're just black. My white ass is the only proof I had a tan. Turns out. But no. So that's, to me, I mean, the bleach is disturbing. It's ridiculous. Disinfectant. How many, good Lord. She's got people trying to put fucking disinfectant in their goddamn inhalers or their nebulizers or fucking who knows. Just, I mean, I'm taken back to that Cheech and Chong movie where the bitch is snorting fucking Ajax off the counter. And realizing how, even for the uninitiated, even for the non-drug users, even for the not hip at all, everybody knew that bitch was crazy. That was probably that was going to put her in the hospital if it didn't kill her. Everybody knew that. Even children knew that then. But we have a president that thinks it might cure the virus. And worse, he's got a bunch of fucking morons with barely the sense to walk upright that believe him. That go, well, it makes sense to me. Makes sense to me. Man, people who that makes sense to need to have their breeding card taken away. Because we don't need no more y'all. That's right, I said it. Out of the fucking gene pool. You, too stupid to breed. I said it. Good Lord. If I have a bigotry, it's against the ignorant. And I don't mean the accidentally, through no fault of their own. I don't mean the handicapped. Not at all. I mean the aggressively, arrogantly ignorant on purpose. That because it doesn't fit their worldview or what they want to do, they will choose to simply say that can't be the truth. Because then I would be wrong and I can't be wrong. And that's the kind of ignorant I just can't stand. But disinfectant, and then coming back and trying to say he was being sarcastic about it. Do we really need a president that's going to get up on the lectern at a pandemic, a somber pandemic, scientific experts there ready to answer questions, etc., and crack fucking wise? Who the fuck does this jackass? I just don't understand. And the Republicans that are letting him get away with it. That tells you what these people will do. What these people will do just to retain power. How many of us, how many they will fuck over, how many of us they will kill to stay in power. They fought Senate. The lieutenant governor said he wanted old people to go out and sacrifice the rest of their lives for the good of the fucking economy. We must feed Moloch. Good Lord. What they're really afraid of is us living 3 or 4 months with about 1/3 of the fun or excessive impulse buys that we make, and not making all those and realizing, holy crap, maybe we could make it on one income. Maybe I deserve to be paid more for my essential worker status. Maybe I should be able to work from home and not have to drive that 6 hours. If they need to talk to me, they can beep me. I'll get to my desk. And as long as I get 8 hours of work into them by the whatever hour my due date is, it doesn't matter when I do it or what I'm wearing when I do it. For those people that are desk workers. Now, a lot of people aren't, but, a lot of people are. And if all of those people quit commuting, we might keep these blue skies we've managed to get over the last month or so. And people might start to realize that, holy crap, maybe the pure capitalistic dog-eat-dog way of doing things isn't the perfect system that the powers that be have sold to me. Maybe... Because that's the part I never understood was poor white folk voting so damn Republican, voting expressly so that they as workers can be exploited because they hope someday to be an owner themselves so they get to do the exploiting. Because that's the only reason, the God and guns is not enough. The real thing is that if they put in these safeguards and these holds and these ways that these people don't, that the owner class doesn't get to abuse the lower classes, then what's the point of the lower class aspiring to be upper class if he doesn't get to lord it over people? And so that's really what it boils down to, is it's that greed and that they don't want to end the overseer, they want to be the overseer. That's the fundamental difference. Those of us looking for equality, and we're so sick of it that we're not even worried about punishing the overseer anymore. We just don't want an overseer anymore. We don't want to be part of a caste system anymore. The white guys, even the poor ones, want to keep that caste system in place just in case they get to climb up. Because if they climb up and they actually have to treat the people below them fairly, well, then what did they win? Why did they suck up so hard to become one of those, only to not be able to be one of those? It's like the people, the new hires getting mad, and rightfully so, getting mad because their retirement packages aren't nearly as sweet as the people that are getting ready to retire's packages, because the economy's different and they're getting fucked worse. And the unions were stronger when the old people's contract was put in place. And these new guys, they ain't getting that. And so it's the same thing. It's kind of like, well, I did everything and I did all the right things and I'm white, so why don't I get to have all the advantages that a good white person had back then? Why don't I get to have more advantages just because I'm white and good? Maybe the advantage ought to be just to the good. Color be damned. They don't want to see that happen because they still have that inkling, that manifest destiny, that stupid fucking American dream bullshit story we've been sold for 250, 300 fucking years now, that anybody can do it. That even you can do it. No. What it really shows is that our system is stacked so bad. But even with our system stacked so bad, every once in a while, even a blind pig finds an acorn. That's who the rags to riches story is. The rags to riches story is not the everyday occurrence. It's the blind pig finding a fucking acorn. Okay? We know that story, right? Even a blind pig finds an acorn once in a while. So don't think yourself so special. You know? Well, that's what the rags to riches story isn't some aspirational tale that we can all get to. It's a fucking lottery ticket. It's a blind pig going, oh, look what I found. No, the ones that really climb are the ones that already had a foundation set for them by their parents and grandparents, whether it be a small piece of property that they own, or the fact that maybe they've never had to pay rent. They've always lived in a house that was owned, and, Grandpa had property, and so, they'd built on more rooms onto the big house. And so maybe you got 3 generations that have no idea what it's like to pay rent. And that by the time they do have to pay rent, they own things where other people are renting from them. Now, the family who has never owned a house is not in that position. They certainly know what renting is like. They certainly know what eviction is like. They certainly know what moving 3 times in 1 year because, mommy or daddy got laid off, or mommy or daddy got sick, or there was a divorce, or any number of things. Whereas, the more affluent, if a family has 2 houses and they regularly live in those 2 houses, well, divorce isn't going to be too hard because the kids are going to be going back and forth to the same 2 damn houses. They're not going to get uprooted and sent across country or sent off the... No. But the poor family living in a rental, well, when the divorce happens, dad gets kicked out. He couch surfs for a while, and he ain't got nowhere to have the kids. And so the kids, when they visit their dad, are going to go to a different place every fucking month. Not something the middle class and upper class whites ever experience. And yet, for the lower middle class to the poor, it's the norm. We have no idea what it's like to inherit anything. Anything. My dad died, the bank made sure that we got nothing. They held things up long enough that my mom had to sell things at a loss before she could lose them. Turned out the bank was wrong, but it was too late. The property was gone. All of our inheritance gone. My parents worked pretty hard for that. They were trying to be that first generation to actually be able to do that. To be able to say, yeah, we're going to leave each of you 2 acres. It didn't happen. Property that I had bought as a young adult, or property that was given to me, was, we had bought some property before that I worked on, and so I earned it. I didn't buy it, but I earned it. And so I was part owner of a piece of property we had when I was a teenager. That was sold because it appreciated quite nicely to get into that last house my parents were in. But no, you know what? Dad died. Bank fucked everybody over. 9/11 happened. Market tanked. And my mom was reduced to living in a double wide in a park. That quick. She had a great retirement. She was a cop. My dad was a cop. They served the fucking country. My dad was a vet. Served their country, served their community. They were law-abiding citizens. Dad died. Mom moved to a double wide. Fairness. Love it. Right? Now, had, great-grandpa owned a large tract of land, and Mom wouldn't have been moving to a double wide. They wouldn't, there wouldn't have been a loss of the house because Dad died and they couldn't make the double payments they'd been making. Or had to sell it before they ran out of money to do it. So, yeah, this economic system, this pull yourself up by your bootstraps bullshit, my parents did everything they could, and death is the only thing that took it away from them. The 3 of us went to college, 2 finished out of 4. They did everything they were supposed to do, and yet Mom had nothing at the end. She was living in a motorhome. It was by choice. But it wasn't like she was living in a motorhome and then she could drive back to the home she owned. No, she could make payments on one or the other. That's not, if it's not possible for them, how the fuck is bootstrapping any more than a goddamn blind pig finding an acorn? So keep that in mind when they're trying to open this country back up. The economy only means something to the top 5%. The economy's ruined. You know what? I haven't noticed anything. My water's still on. My electric's still on. We're paying our bills. We don't need a cash infusion from the federal government or our entire business is going to disappear. My wife's at work right now. She's an essential worker. Life hasn't changed that much for us. We're being more careful. We're not getting to do as much, but we're not having blackouts, where we have to turn off the lights and black out the lights and worry about air raids or anything like that. No foreign troops possibly going to be marching down the street. So the only people that are suffering are the billionaires and the people on the front lines working. Our medical workers, our frontline workers and the medical workers, our convenience store clerks that are having to work and risk their lives so you can get a fucking Slurpee at 2 o'clock in the morning. Those people have plenty to be freaked out about. The janitors have plenty to be freaked out about. But the rest of us, things are moving along. At least from what I see. Billionaires are scared to death that we're going to realize we don't need to work so hard. That we don't need to give them as much of our sweat, blood, and tears for their fucking money. That's what they're really afraid of. So let the Bleach story... Oh, I hope it tears him out. I hope this brings the 25th Amendment. But just keep in mind the underlying story, folks, that their real fear is we're going to realize how non-essential they are. How, if we were to get rid of the billionaires in their system, life wouldn't change that much for us. And odds are it'd get better for everybody. But, a couple hundred billionaires. Well, if the death of a 50,000, 100,000, 500,000 seniors is good for the economy, then how good for the economy would the death of a couple hundred billionaires be? That's what they're afraid we're all going to agree on. I mean, it's your Wild and Woolly Wordsmith.com, barbaryallen.wordpress.com. See you next time.